And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 352 Blitz. We're in episode 19 of our rebrand. Obviously, you guys know we used to be called 352 Sports Talk. Now it's just 352 Blitz. If you guys don't know that already, that just means we're focusing strictly on football. NFL football to be exact. We might talk about college here and there if there's something big going on, but we'll talk about NFL football. Before we get into everything, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us everywhere. That means TikTok, Twitter, Threads, YouTube, if I'm missing anything else, but it's all the same thing, 352 Blitz, all one word. Also, we only got 2 weeks till football. I know August 3rd, I think, is the Hall of Fame game or something like that.
Training camp's pretty much kicked off for most. I know a few teams kicked off. Jets, yeah. I think the Dolphins.
Right, exactly, yeah. I think you're right about that one for sure. But yeah, football is coming back up. I told you guys July is the last month without football until February. Thank God, man. We're almost there at the finish line, so I know everybody can't wait. Before we get into episode 2 as well, I want to give a quick prayer. I want to say our best thoughts and wishes to Prime Time. I know he had surgery yesterday. I know he was dealing with some things going on with the blood clots. So everybody here, that includes Jay, Bud, Ed, everybody that's associated with 352 Sports Talk, want to send our best wishes and our prayers to you, to a speedy recovery, and hopefully you get good to go when football season comes around for sure. Also, prayers up to Marcus Goodwin. Sorry, go ahead.
How many Prime's had like 4 or 5 procedures in the last year?
He's had too many.
Yeah, it's pretty worrying.
Yeah, we see somebody like Primetime who everybody loves and who's just energetic and who's just a great guy. You hate to see stuff like that happen to him, So hopefully this is the last one for a while. Not even for a while. Hopefully this is the last one, period. And he continues to heal up and, like I said, get better for his team and for his family. We want to see him be great. Also, prayers up to Marquise Goodwin. We found out today that he had some blood clots. I think it was in his lungs. Not too sure about that one.
Lungs and I think leg or somewhere else. Lungs and chest, maybe.
Man, it was crazy. Definitely sad to hear as well. Hopefully he gets the help he needs and hopefully he gets back healthy so he can just continue to, play football and also continue to support his family, be there for his family as well. We hate to see people get hurt, no matter who it is. So definitely prayers up to him. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it, bro. We got a few things to talk about today. This won't be a super long episode. This is just me and Jay Bud and Jay Bud's dog here as well. You guys can say what's up to him in the back. Yeah, exactly. He had to come say what's up, but it's all good. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. First person to talk about, Dalvin Cook. We know he's dealing with some off the field issues, but we're not really going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about
somewhere. We're not going to get too deep into that, but I read somewhere that the article that was released today about the off the field issues is the same person that released lies about his legal issues last year.
Right.
So it's a lot of drama going on there. But like you said, I don't want to get into it too much. Just kind of cover who we think he's going to sign with, who the best contenders are.
Oh yeah, for sure. I get you. But yeah, like you said, let's go ahead and get into it. So we saw a source on Twitter that said that the Pats, Jets, and Finns are the front runners to sign him. So Jim, but I'm gonna ask you, where do you think? I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. Where do you think he should go, but where do you think he realistically is going to end up at?
Obviously, I think he should go to the Dolphins. It'll complete our offense and probably solidify us as a Super Bowl contender. For some reason, I just had this weird guess that he's going to end up signing with the Pats. I think they have the most money to give. I feel like he'll end up at the end of the day taking money, just kind of how we saw with Hopkins signing with the Titans. So I think it's going to end up like that. Because at this point, I think a lot of other running backs are looking at him like you can't take a low ball deal.
Yeah.
So he's got there's a lot riding on his signing, actually, I feel like.
I agree. I know that I think he's only 27 or 27 going on 28. So he's not old, but he's like, getting up there in the running back world, right? But he's not a regular running back. You know what I mean?
He's never really declined.
Yeah, exactly. He's up there with Derrick Henry, but CMC. He's up there with those guys. You know what I mean? So, but the answer to 2 questions I asked you. First, I think he should go I think he should go to the Fins, just because him and Raheem Mostert would be an amazing, disgusting 1-2 running back duo, and I think that's going to take the offense to the next level. Because you got two of the fastest receivers in the game. You got, I think, probably the fastest running back in the league with Mostert, and then you got obviously one of the most dynamic running backs, the top three running back in my opinion in the league. Added to that, would just make things a lot better, especially giving, relieving some pressure off of Tua as well. Because you got a strong running game, that opens up everything else. You know how that goes, right? So I think that's going to take the Dolphins' offense to the next level if they can get D Cook. But I think he's going to go. I think Dalvin Cook wants to win. He's somebody that comes off as somebody that just doesn't care about money. He cares about money, but he doesn't just care about that. I feel like he cares about winning too as well. And the best situation for him to win is with the Dolphins, just because, like I said, for all the reasons I just said before, you know what I mean? So I think he should and he will go to the Dolphins. I want to put that up there. I'm not gonna bet on that. Don't you know what I mean? I'm not gonna put a bet on it, but I think that's the best, situation.
I'll pray on it for you.
Yeah, the AFC is already tough. Think about it. The AFC is already tough. This is like this is the toughest I've ever seen the AFC be. You know what I mean? Because every team that's in the AFC East, except for probably the Pats, can make the playoffs. Is a playoff team.
Yep.
Same thing. AFC North, every team's a playoff team. You know what I mean? And it's just like
I really feel like those are the two hardest divisions in the league right now.
Exactly. Like last year, I think it was NFC East or wherever the Cowboys are at. I don't know.
Yeah, NFC East.
Yeah, but yeah, the AFC is already tough, man. And if Dalvin Cook's going to come to the AFC, which looks like he will, because obviously the top three teams are all in the same division as well that he might sign to, I think it's smartest to go to the Dolphins. I wouldn't.
Wild. What would
that?
be the wildest thing is if they end up like the AFC West last year. Everybody hyped up the Raiders, the Broncos. Everybody thought that whole division was going to be good, and then it really just turned into the Chiefs show again.
Yeah, that's true.
There's
no sorry, go ahead.
Last year, everybody was hyping that up. So it's funny because everybody's hyping up the AFC East this year. I'm just curious to see what happens. I don't think the Dolphins take a step back, but I'm just curious to see if Orlando's going to kill me. I'm curious to see if the Bills take a step back, honestly, because they didn't really do too much this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to touch on that in a little bit too, but just to kind of wrap up this Dalvin thing as well, like I said, I think, if the Dolphins sign him, they're going to be a title contender for sure, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Especially that defense stepped up too, adding Ramsey. I think the Dolphins could definitely do some damage. I still think – I remember I was saying that the Jets were going to win the division, but if y'all get Dalvin, I'm picking the Dolphins for sure. But we'll see. We'll see in due time. He's got to pick somewhere soon because obviously preseason's coming up. He's got to do something soon, so we'll see. But moving on. Pat Mahomes definitely said something very, very, very interesting. And I want to know what you think. So he said that Kirk Cousins is the most underrated quarterback in the league. What do you think about that?
I mean, based off his numbers, yes, because he gets a lot of hate. But if you look at his numbers when it's not a 1 o'clock game, it all makes sense. I think Pat, it's a little bit of a stretch for them to say he is underrated. I feel like a lot of people just give him a lot of crap, but he's not the most underrated in the league.
Okay. Now I'm gonna give you a name. You tell me if you think this person is more underrated, and we can compare numbers and whatnot. I think that Jared Goff is more underrated than Kirk Cousins. What do you think about that?
Jared Goff I feel like he had a top 10, top 12. He's probably in the top 15 quarterbacks last year.
Right.
That Detroit offense last year was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like when I like to compare two QBs like that, I like to switch their, position. I mean, switch their teams, right? So imagine Jared Goff with Jay Jettas and Adam Thielen last year.
Yeah.
And I forgot the tight end's name, but I know he's probably top 7 in the league.
Right?
I think something like that.
Yeah, they traded Hawkinson to Kirk Cousins over there.
Right. So it's just like I think that Jared Goff is the most underrated QB, and also when Pat Mahomes said it, I don't know if you saw the new documentary on Netflix with called Quarterback. You know, obviously with him, Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. I think he was just saying that because Kirk Cousins was there. I don't think he really truly thinks that. You know, because like I said, I think that Kirk Cousins is great at 1 o'clock, but you look at Jared Goff, he took the Rams to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And people also forget. And yeah, he didn't score, but like that Pats defense that year just was stupid.
insane.
Like
That defense was a unit.
like the fact that the Pats scored 13 points and still won shows you how good that defense was. Like that was when prime Stephon Gilmore. I can't think of everybody else obviously, but that's when prime Stephon Gilmore was there. You already know that's clamps.
That score was 9-13, right?
13-3, I think.
13-3. You're right.
Yeah, 13-3. So it's like
it was legit just a defensive battle. Yeah.
Right, like going 13 points in the Super Bowl and winning is crazy. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, no, I think we both agree on the fact that Kirk Cousins is definitely one of the most underrated, but I still think the most underrated for sure is Jared Goff. I think we both agree on that, right?
Yeah, I honestly, after last year, now that he had a bad year, I feel like a lot of people are underrated on Russell Wilson. I think he's going to have a great year, so I put him in the mix right there too. But it'll have to be after this year. I have to see how this season goes. But,
yeah, just to put on that too as well. I remember when the Broncos fired their OC, he started taking off. You know what I mean? And I remember they were trying to make Russell Wilson just strictly a pocket passing QB, which he has an arm, he can throw good, but that's just not who Russell Wilson is. Obviously, you saw him in Seattle.
He's an improviser.
Exactly. He's playing like how Jalen Hurts is playing out, today. You know what I mean? So I think Sean Payton is a mastermind when it comes to offense, and I think he's going to figure out how to use Russell Wilson's legs and get him more involved in the offense and make their offense go to the next level. Because the Broncos could be a little dangerous, bro, if they figure out their offense. Because remember, they had a top 5 defense last year. You know what I mean? So I think if them boys can figure out their offense, they could definitely do something. But let's not get too far off topic. All right, so Julian Edelman, he said something funny about your team, and this is your time to go ahead and rip him apart. I do want to say what he said word for word in his exact quotes. Let me get to that real quick. So he said that the Finns would take a step back. He said, I can see Miami taking a step back. I don't know if it was a fluke, but December and November football is different, very, very different. I see them taking a step back because they have so much hype around them. They're like always that one team where they're supposed to be good at something, and then 40% of the teams that made the playoffs last year are going to make the playoffs this year. So what do you think about that? He basically said that you guys have too much hype around y'all, and last year was a fluke for y'all. Y'all shouldn't have made the playoffs in the first place. What's your thoughts?
First of all, hasn't this man been retired for like 3 years, and ain't nobody heard shit from him, and then he wants to start hating on the Dolphins? Second, we've loaded up even more from our team last year. So we've added more additions to an already good team. We added probably one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. We added the best corner in the league. Oh, on some people's list, because I think PS2 is the best corner. But a top 3 corner along with X. Like, is this man just stupid? Does he think we're not going to be good? At this point, our offense is so good, we could really lose to it and still probably have a chance of making a wild card with backup Mike White or Skylar Thompson. Like, we have a lot of weapons. I don't know what he's talking about taking a step back when we put ourselves in an even better position to move forward. So it's just like he's kind of just talking delusional. I think he's just a Dolphins hater because he played for the Patriots. It's probably sad to hear that Tom Brady wants to be an owner for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, you basically took the words out of my mouth. I was going to kind of say the same thing. You sound like you're being a hater because as you heard me read the quote, he didn't really say anything that was like concrete. He just kind of just said his opinion, and that December and November football is different, and they just have a lot of hype around them. It's like, I think, honestly, like I said, if Dalvin Cook goes to the Dolphins, they're going to make the playoffs. I think they're going to make a big run as well, like I said. And I don't really see the Dolphins taking a step back. I think that they have a lot more confidence in their team this year around. I think their head coach is kind of getting into his groove, especially as you saw the Dolphins get toward the end of the year as well. I think he's being a hater. And
What the hell
I,
does 40% of teams that made the playoffs last year aren't going to make the aren't going to make the playoffs this year? You realize that means a majority of the teams are. Like more than half are going to make it again.
I think he just threw. I think he realized he sounded just emotional, and he just threw in a quote to make himself sound like he was saying something factual. Like I said, I think I agree with what you were saying. I think he's just taking a jab at you guys, and he's
That's
just
all right.
still.
We love it over here. Send it our way.
It's just like I said, he paid for the Patriots for like what 10, 12 years. It's just all hate, you know what I mean? So I don't agree with what he said. I think the Dolphins are going to be better this year, especially since they added Ramsey, and we all know how Ramsey is, you know what I mean? So he's gonna make a presence felt in the locker room, be a leader on our defense, and make them boys step up. So I'm excited to see, bro. It's gonna be football season's gonna be so close. I'm ready to see how this stuff goes for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a lot of
All
moves
right,
last year.
exactly. All right, so another person we need to touch base on is that boy Justin Fields. So there's some people talking about him in the league recently. First thing, there's one person that said one good thing about him. Then there was one person who said something very negative about him, and I want to kind of get your thoughts on both of those opinions. So Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa, whichever one plays for the 49ers. I think that's Nick, right? 49ers is Nick. Yeah, that's Nick Bosa. He said that Justin Fields is the best running QB of all time. What do you think about that?
He's nice. He is nice. I think Bosa actually quoted, "I see Mike Vick when he runs on the field." I'm pretty sure he quoted because I was checking something out on that this morning, and he was talking very confidently about Justin Fields. He said there's not many. He said there wasn't anybody that moves like him on the field. Once he gets out in the open field, he's so quick and shifty. I think your quarterback is probably the better runner out of the two.
Yep.
I mean, there's videos of Lamar running iconically the same as Mike Vick, making two defenders hit each other. So it's hard to say he's the best of all time because I don't see him better than Lamar or Mike Vick. So now I think it's a little biased there because they went to the same college.
I was going to say the same thing. I think that's just OSU bias. I think Justin Fields is great. He's a fantastic athlete, and I think that he is definitely one of the best, QB runners in the league. But like you said, I think recency bias and Ohio State bias is playing a little bit too much into the statement. You know what I mean? I agree with you, and I'm not being biased at all. I still think Lamar Jackson in the open field is a lot more dangerous. Not a lot more dangerous. Is more dangerous than Justin Fields, and I still think that Mike Vick, one of the first ones to ever do it like that. I don't think. I think he has a long way to go before he can get to that level. You know what I mean? So I agree with what you're saying. I get Nick Bosa.
I'll put Fields at 2, but there is a gap there. There's still a gap between 1 and 2 to me. It's not close.
Yeah, I agree for sure. All right. On the other hand, though, I do not like this guy sometimes, but it is what it is. But Colin Coward, I think I'm saying his name right. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. He said that Justin Fields is a YouTube QB who's just good for making highlights, but in all actuality, he is a bust. What do you think about that?
I don't want to speak on another man's words.
Yeah.
I feel like some commentators are literally just handed a script and they're like, "Here, this is gonna get people to talk about this." Because what does a YouTube QB who's good for making highlights, but is actually a bust even really mean? So he's good at making highlights, but he's a bust. So he's doing good on the field, but he's still a bust. It's just I think Colin Coward's an idiot. That's how I feel about that comment from him. I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback, good young quarterback. I think he will be. I'm really thinking he will be great. I think he'll be a top 10 quarterback within the next three years if they give him time and they start putting more and more weapons around him, which they're in the right direction by adding more. Claypool last year will be good now that he has more on the other side of him. they're adding the right. They got Mooney, so Matt. I think Justin Fields is going the right direction, but Colin Coward's an idiot for calling him a YouTube QB.
Yeah, I think his statement is kind of similar to Julian Edelman's statement, where it's just emotion and not really saying anything that's concrete. Because, like, I don't know, like you said, I was confused when you said YouTube QB who's good for making highlights. Like, what the hell does that mean? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that Justin Fields is an amazing quarterback who started off in a shitty situation, and the Bears front office is already making great moves to fix that shitty situation. Obviously, that stuff takes time. You know what I mean? But I think, like you said, is right. I think they're heading in the right direction, and I think that once they kind of make a nicer O line and they keep putting the weapons around him, Justin Fields going to shine. He's going to shine for sure.
Was it Justin Fields that dated Colin Coward's daughter?
I mean, based on his statement, I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean?
I know it's either him or Trey Lance. It's either him or Trey Lance dated Colin Coward's daughter.
I'll be so sick. I'll be so sick.
I know it's one of them.
I mean, shit. You know,
but it really could be Justin Fields by that comment. That's messed up.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. But yeah, like I agree with what you said too as well. I think that he's not a bust at all. And I just think he needs time. I think he needs to get weapons. I think he needs more protection, and he'll be good to go. You know. So, all right. Well, let's wrap up the show. I don't know if you're a big Madden guy, but I think it's worth talking about.
Madden ratings. That time of the year.
Yeah, exactly. All the Madden ratings get released, obviously, late July, and every time it gets released, people have opinions, and there's some controversy around them. So, I want to go over the top 5 quarterbacks, the top 5 corners, the top 5 wide receivers that Madden has put out, and we'll just talk about it, see what we think. First, starting off with the quarterbacks, they got Mahomes at number 1, Burrow at number 2, Allen at number 3, Lamar. Damn. I guess like he said, Allen at 3 is crazy.
Yeah, he don't fuck with Josh Allen at all.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Allen at 3, Lamar at 4, and Jalen Hurts at 5, which is a little bit of a shocker. What do you think about that one?
I mean, I was actually kind of, if I could move 3, if I could just bump Allen down to 5 and then move Lamar and Hurts up. Actually, it's hard to move Hurts in front of Allen. Allen started to fall off at the end of the year. That's the only thing. But he had the elbow injury, so a lot of people will defend him by saying he had the UCL injury. Yeah. But to me, it's honestly, I'm going to go with my gut. Lamar at 3, Hurts, and then I would have Allen 5. Maybe you could put Herbert right there at 5. 5, 6 would be Herbert or Allen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just based off Allen's played a little bit more deeper into the playoffs, so I'd say it's how Madden does their ratings. Allen at 5.
Yeah, I think 2 through 6 is debatable for sure. At 6 they had Justin Herbert, obviously, but I think obviously number 1, Mahomes going to be number 1 for like the next 10 years. I don't think we need to really talk about that. But Burrow at number 2, I agree with Burrow at number 2. I think Burrow is still great. I think that playoff run he had last year was amazing. I feel like if they had a better offensive line, they would have won the Super Bowl easily. I love Josh Allen, but it's like for me, Josh Allen and Lamar are tied just because Josh Allen has a little bit more recent success, but Lamar won the MVP with rookie Mark Andrews or rookie Hollywood Brown. You know what I mean? And it's like if you can win an MVP in the same league as Tom Brady, AR, and Mahomes, you can beat them out for MVP with a subpar receiving core and a rookie tight end. That says a lot about who you are, right? So it's just like that thing right there. Unless Josh Allen can win MVP, I will always put Lamar over Josh Allen for now. You know what I mean? So I would have put Burrow at 2, Lamar at 3, Allen at 4, and then 5 and 6 is kind of tied between obviously Hurts and Herbert. I would put Herbert at 5 just because I think he's a better quarterback overall. But I just think Jalen Hurts is the perfect system for him. You know what I mean? But once you see just Jalen Hurts get stuck in a situation where he has to pass the ball every single play, he kind of he doesn't play as well. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's my run through six, you could say. But yeah, let's go to move on. Two more groups. Cornerbacks. I know you're gonna like this one. Ramsey number one.
Actually, while we're on this topic of Madden cornerbacks, before you get to this top five,
Let's do it.
I was actually agreeing with most of the Madden when they were all the ratings when they were popping out today. I was like, okay. I saw the top 20 cornerbacks. X is not on the list.
That's insane. I thought about saying that, putting that in the agenda, but I didn't want to go through the 20 cornerbacks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I feel you, but I was just like, no X? Are you kidding me?
When you talk about people that are disrespected, I think Xavier is up there just because I don't know. I don't know why.
He's never in the social media. He's super quiet.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He's never talked about.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's crazy. But top five cornerbacks: 1, Ramsey; 2, Jair; 3, PS2; 4, Sauce; and 5, my boy Marlon Humphrey. What was your initial thoughts when you heard or saw that?
I mean, I was happy because the Dolphin got number one, but in all reality, PS2 is the best corner in the league. Ramsey didn't have that great of a year last year. He had multiple times that he got torched.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Ramsey was going to come in third, maybe fourth. Seeing Sauce up there in at number 4 after a rookie year is kind of insane.
Yeah.
I know he had a great year, but I think there was a better rookie cornerback last year. So it's hard to see him in the top 5 and not the other rookie that I felt like was better.
Yeah, fair enough.
But, I mean, overall, I would have put PS2 1, Jair stayed 2. Yeah, probably Ramsey 3. 4, I'd have to say.
Tough. It's tough.
It's a tough list. I don't even want to do 4 and 5 because there's so many.
Yeah.
You got Woolen, you got Sauce, you have Marlon Humphreys, you got J.C. Horn. There's so many corners out there that are elite young talent.
For sure. I'm
going to.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I just said, how about yourself?
So 1, I would put Jair just because that's the only corner I saw that locked up Jay Jettis last year. And, I think Jair is definitely coming into his own. We're going to see how he looks next year. But I got Jair at 1. I got PS2 at 2. I still think he's, like I said, second best quarterback in the league. 3, I got Ramsey. 4, I got Sauce. 5 was kind of tough, but my bias kind of won in this one. I put Marlon Humphrey. He didn't really play too well last year, but he's still that guy, in my opinion. And I still think he is a better zone corner than he is a man corner. I still think that Ramsey's the best pure man corner in the league, followed by Jair. But talking overall, yeah, like I said, Jair number 1, PS2 number 2, 3 Ramsey, 4 Sauce. Actually, no, sorry, 4 Marlon Humphrey, and 5 Sauce. I don't think Sauce is better than Marlon Humphrey yet because Sauce he's fantastic, but if you look at the competition he had, it wasn't really up there like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we discussed that one. He had soft matchups last year.
Facts. And whenever he played against like Tyreek Hill, he was holding. I'm pretty sure about that shit. He was fucking. He got away with that shit, boy. He was holding. So
he was throwing that man. He would fucking grab him by his shoulder pads from the midfield.
I don't know how the field judge didn't see that, but you know what? I'm not the ref. I'm just here to watch. I'm a fan. But yeah. Last topic though. Top 5 wide receivers. This was controversial, but we got to definitely talk about it. So 1, Jay Jettis, who was actually in the 99 club. So shout out to him. But 1, Jay Jettis, 2, Tyreek Hill, 3, Devontae Adams, 4, Diggs, and 5, Cooper Kupp. Let me go first on this one because I made you go first this whole time. I want to talk
you.
about this one.
Mhm.
I agree with Jay Jettis at number one, but I still think that Mike Evans is so disrespected, and I think he is definitely just suffered from being so good for so long, having 1,000 yard,
Every year.
1,000 yard receiver, yeah, every single year for like what past 8 years. That's insane. You know what I mean? So I think Mike Evans should be in the top five, in my humble opinion. But if I had to rank everything, I would go one, Jay Jettis, two, man, two, Devontae Adams. He had a great year last year. Three, damn, Diggs. Four, Mike Evans. And then five, Cooper. No. Sorry. Four, Cooper Kupp. And then five, Mike Evans. That's my top five. And then Tyreek Hill at six. I know.
We're
That was
talking,
tough.
we're talking about the man that was close to 2,000 yards last year.
Bro, I'm sorry. I don't know. I think my pure wide receiver number ones, the boys are great. But yeah, Tyreek Hill is definitely great. But that's
so your
but yeah.
one is Jay Jettis.
Yeah.
So I have to agree with two because I understand where I fully understand where you're coming from. The true wide receiver, but Tyreek can run past anyone, and we see it every game. At least 2-3 plays, he can run a fade and get past the safety and the corner. And you just got to throw it up to him, and he'll come down and just keep running with it. That man, it didn't. I didn't realize how good he was until he became a Dolphin last year. I watched him play, and I realized how much he impacted an offense. Really, three. I actually agree with three. And four, I have Diggs. Five, or actually, I'm sorry. Four, I have Cup. Five, I don't have Diggs there.
Okay.
I liked where you were going with the Mike Evans. I feel like he is somebody who's probably the most underrated receiver in the league.
Right.
One of the most underrated players in the league. Because that's another, 6'4", 6'5" receiver that you can just throw it up to, no matter who's guarding him, and he's going to come down. We've seen it for the last 7-8 years now.
Yeah. Consistently too.
He really hasn't lost a touch. It's just when he has inconsistent quarterback play. He had drop issues for like the first 2-3 years. He had drop issues, but he fixed that really quick.
Thanks.
So yeah, I have to say Mike Evans at 5, and then Diggs 6.
Diggs, fair enough.
Diggs, but he's just there's too much with him. Too much baggage.
Thanks, for sure. I like it. I like the list. I respect it. I wouldn't wish Eddie was here, but it's all good. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff next week. We're going to talk about more Madden stuff next week as well. But yeah, appreciate you guys. We told you it's going to be a short episode, a little 30-minute episode, which is me and Jay Butt. If you haven't already, like this for us. Leave your comments too. If you think we said anything crazy or stupid, if you disagree with anything we said, we'd love to hear it. You know what I mean?
Let us know if we're dumbasses.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to us on YouTube, Twitch. Follow us everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, /threads, TikTok, and all that stuff. All the same word, 352 Blitz. We love y'all. We appreciate you guys, and we will see y'all next time. Take care.
Peace.